Thank you for tapping in. This is Brian HRap Williams. This is the End of Bench Media coming at you live and direct. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. As usual, I want really greatly appreciate you. This is the End of Bench Media. End of Bench Media is designed so I can uplift my people and push my people forward. I was brought to you, and that's create homage to my parents, Dolores and John. Without them, there's no me. Without me, you'd be doing something else with your valuable time. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. Thank you for the support. Now, if you're looking for me, you can catch up with me for theendofthebench.com, where you see all my work for the last 90 days. And you'll see other extras on there, shopping with t-shirts and things of that nature. Please go and support, support, support. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't hit like, please do. Leave a comment, leave a question, engage, engage, engage. Please hit that like button. It's important to push me into the algorithm. The name of this program is A Few Minutes with HRap. A Few Minutes with HRap is a program that my goal is to uplift our people and push us into the future. How do we push ourselves into the future? The future is held and controlled by us. Our great-grandchildren's grandchildren. We should never be thinking about us or our children. We should be thinking about our great-grandchildren's grandchildren. That way, we perpetuate things into the future, and we never have an opportunity to lose. We are surviving. We're not living. My goal is to help us live. Now, as I stated, this is A Few Minutes with HRap. Today is the fifth, we're in Black History Month. Black History Month is one of the most important months to my community in these United States. A lot of people seem to reduce it because they don't understand Black history. They haven't researched Black history. They're too invested in being anything but part of this community. You see all the negative, which means that is a form of self-hate. If the first thing you think of as Black history is oppression, then you don't like being you. Because if you look at the enslavement period of our people as a clock, we wouldn't get past, if it's noon, we wouldn't get past 12:02, and that's how little the enslavement period is. If we talk about everything after that, then after and before that, then you talk about the greatness of being Black, the ability to overcome, the ability to be beat into submission, the ability to be attacked for no reason, and still stand tall, stand proud, create, improve, and most importantly, smile. And when you're smiling, you're living, not surviving. The reason I'm talking about Black History Day, because people overlook it. Even our people, most importantly, our people overlook it. Black history is not a blip on the radar. Most people don't even understand the penance of Black history, don't understand the history of Black history. And this is one of the blackest Black history months in the world. 2026, this is the 100-year anniversary of the celebration of our history by one Carter G. Woodson. If you don't know who Carter G. Woodson is, you're exactly who I'm speaking to. Carter G. Woodson is the father of Black History Week. And into 1970, it was Black History Week, and now it's Black History Month. If you have made the foolish or asinine, in my opinion, asinine or ignorant statement, why is it in February, and didn't Google it and find out, but you Google every statistic on the board for a sporting event, every statistic or all the gossip information or every television show information, you Google it, then you are part of the problem. And if I seem a bit abusive, it's because I'm meaning to be that abusive, because I despise the fact that people in my community don't embrace every single solitary second of Black History Month, as you should your birthday. Because it's your birthright to understand who you are, where you come from, and what you're made of. And once you understand that, you propel yourself into nothing but greatness. Period. Period. Point blank. End of sentence. If you've asked the question, why did they give us February? This puts you in an oppressive mind state. If you're in an oppressive mind state, then that's not where you need to be. Why did they give us February? We took February. Again, Carter G. Woodson created Black History Week to celebrate one Frederick Douglass, one of the most famous abolitionists in the history of this country. He stood tall in the face of oppression. He literally, physically beat down his oppressor and took his freedom, just like we did in the Civil War, just like we fought for the Revolutionary War after being duped into the colonizers of this land, making an alliance with them. And King George offered us freedom, and they did too. And neither one of them more than likely would have given it to us. But this is what I'm talking about. Nobody gave us anything. Abraham Lincoln didn't give us freedom. If you doubt it, look up W.E.B. Du Bois and the Souls of Blacks, and you'll find out exactly how we took our freedom. Period. Point blank, end of story. And this is what you need to understand. Black history, to quote the great Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black History Week and Month. If your history is only can be encapsulated in 30 days or 1 month, it's not worth being talked about. Therefore, if you are not going to celebrate February 1st to the end of the month of February, and I do mean celebrate, uplift, inform, and embrace everything about it, that's self-hate. That's self-hate in its greatest form. You're not, I'm from the United States. No, you're from a tribe called Shabazz. You're from the continent. You're from the original man. And you are ashamed to embrace that which is a flaw in you and not in the rest of us. If you are foolish enough to look at the television screen and see the worst of us and never wonder, why don't you see anything good? And do you think you're some outlier, that you're the person that's the difference in the situation? You are outside your damn mind. Now, what I want you to understand is this. This month should be celebrated. You should be celebrating your parents and their union and how they got together, your grandparents and the same, and your great grandparents. You should be understanding your uncles, your aunts, your nieces, nephews, cousins, and anybody else in your family, simply because if you don't understand the foundation of your family, how could you possibly understand the greatness of your people? You don't even know how great the story is about your parents. You don't understand why your uncle is the way he is, your aunt the way she is, the successful people in your family, or lack thereof, in the event that that's the case as well. What stopped them? What held them back? What obstacles that they need to overcome so you won't succumb to those same obstacles. These are the things that I want you to understand, know, and embrace. And when you do that, that's why you celebrate Black History Month. That's when Black History Month becomes a annual embracing of our culture, because it's the greatest culture on the planet. You cannot go anywhere in any corner of the world and not see our fingerprint, our footprint, the impression of us when the Moors went to what we identify as Europe now, and civilized them when they went over to Asia and helped the people in Asia. The fact that most people don't even identify, when you close your eyes and think about a Buddhist or a Chinese statue, what Chinese person have you ever seen with those full lips? And then have you ever wondered, what are those little knotty things on the top of those Chinese structures? Close your eyes and just see them. Wouldn't that be the very hair that grows out of your head? And how did they get that? Why is it that in Vietnam, they knew to tell the Black man, we ain't got no problem with you? Why is that? Have you ever thought about the Buddhist structures and the Japanese structures and how close to being pyramids they are? Have you ever wondered why the Aborigines in Australia, how did they get there? Have you ever noticed all of these things that look just like you? Pueblo, Colorado, they're meta nature, what you identify as hieroglyphics, meta nature on walls and on the side of mountains in Pueblo, Colorado. Have you ever heard about the possible rumor of a pyramid being in the Grand Canyon? Have you ever considered the fact that there in the Yucatan of Mexico, that there are pyramids and there are structures that look just like us, and they cannot be denied. Have you ever thought about the great landmass, how South America seems to fit right into Florida, and then everybody knows there was a great divide of the landmass. And if think about this, 300 people at a time, 300 to 400 people at a time on a ship. How long would they still be? Do you really believe they got 400? They made 400,000 ships in order to ship 40 million of us over here, or were some of us already in the Western Hemisphere? Have you ever thought about the history that Columbus says in his diary that these Indians, because he thought he was in India, look like black people, look like Africans? That means he ran into us. See, you're not paying attention to black history. You're paying attention to white domination. And when you pay attention to white domination, you lose. Because why in the entire hell would you listen to your oppressor about your history? Who in the hell would dominate people for a few centuries and then tell them who they are? Black history is not just 4 weeks in a year. Black history is world history. It is not a place on this planet whereas you can find us and you find destruction. There's not a place on this planet that we have not touched and embraced and uplifted. And if you're afraid to understand that, you, my sister, brother, niece, nephew, or cousin, neighbor, you are the problem. Black History is a glorious month. It's a month in which you should be celebrated. It's a month in which you should do everything you can. You should do everything you can to get new information every month, every day of this month, and carry it through the end of the year. And look forward to next year so you can get some new information to carry you through the next year. Every single day. I'm tired of people talking about we're not our ancestors. You damn right you're not our ancestors, because our ancestors told stories and they sat down and they spoke in their dialect. They were not attempting to diversify their dialect into the English vernacular that we know as the King's English. What they did was create their own languages to speak amongst themselves. They broke off words so they could have conversations right in the midst of people, and those people not know what they were talking about. See, we don't need to assimilate. What we need to is invest in our past so we can understand why we are right here, so we can navigate through our future, so we can navigate and educate and enhance our great-grandchildren's grandchildren. That's why you need to embrace Black History Month. Black History Month is the greatest month of the year by everybody and by any means, by anyone on this earth. No, there's no other management. Because try to get around this country without GPS. A Black woman, protect yourself at home, Black woman, or Black man, without the Ring doorbell, without the security. That's Black folk. See, we did all this. Dry your clothes tonight. If you have a washing machine and dryer, that's us. Iron your clothes. That's us. You see what I'm saying? A fire breaks out of your home. Run down that fire escape. That's us. See, these are the things. These are the reasons Black histories need to be talked about every day. But we damn sure need to be celebrated in February. We damn sure. Why? And if you want to use that silly question, why is it in February? Because Carter G. Woodson said it needs to be in February because he wanted to celebrate Frederick Douglass. And then we took over the month in the 70s. See, what we don't realize is while we're trying to be American and adapt to a system that rejects us, like I reject shrimp, and some people reject penicillin, what we're doing is financing our oppression. How are we financing our oppression? Because this is also the month of February, and people celebrate the love month or the love day more than they celebrate the love of their people. You celebrate Valentine's Day, again, another day that you have no history, no connection to, and you celebrate that. Do you realize this is the beginning of the financing of your oppression every year of Black History Month? Because every month after this, every single solitary month after this, you know what you do? They tell you, go to the store and give us your money. You got it? Tell you what, Valentine's Day, as you are watching this, you're gonna be walking up on a few days, or if you watch it later, it'll be past you. It'll be the Super Bowl. Everybody, a lot of people went and got alcohol, they got food, they got beverage, they went to places, they went and bought gear to watch a football game, to watch commercials, to tell you to go spend your money. Then 7 days after that Super Bowl happens, it'll be Valentine's Day. And a bunch of us are going to go to jewelry stores and buy jewelry. Some of us have affluence enough to, have the finances that allow us to buy vehicles. And if you're super financial, you'll buy a home. But you're going to buy t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, clothing, jewelry, flowers, candy, and things of that nature because somebody told you to. Next month, you're going to refinance your oppression and you're going to start March Madness and you're going to start that whole situation over. You're going to be betting with Prize Picks and Dabble and DraftKings and all that. And you're going to be betting on that tournament to see if you can win some money. And then in the midst of that tournament, they're going to say, hey, here goes St. Patrick's Day. Black folks and Irish people don't even get along that well historically, but a bunch of black folks gonna be walking around with green on, and a bunch of people gonna hit bars and overindulge in alcohol, and guess what's gonna happen? The further financing of your oppression. And then April, you got Easter. May, you got Mother's Day. June, you got Father's Day. July, you got 4th of July. Back to school sales in August. In the summer stuff and for Labor Day. October is Halloween. November and December, the holidays. You are financing your oppression, brothers and sisters. You are literally financing your oppression. The very people that you're going to the store, you going to Walmart, you in the union, they're union busters. They don't want anything to do with unions. Am I telling you how to spend your money? No, I just want to put it on your mind. Are you shopping with black folks this week? Are you doing that? No, you're not, because you're financing your oppression. The very football teams that you celebrate Super Bowl Sunday, the people who own that league and own those teams, they're financing your homie at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, which actually is people higher than him controlling. They just, no way in hell a dude who don't know how to read get all this chaos going. The very people that want to do away with SNAP benefits, the very people that want to do away with Medicaid, the very people that want to do away with Medicare, the very people that want to do away with all the benefits that benefit you, your siblings, your cousins, your neighbors, your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunts, and anybody else who is not a millionaire or a billionaire in your family. They want to do away with that. But we sit there every Sunday. We sit there throughout the week. We do all these things to enhance the ability for them to oppress us. That's what we need to stop doing. We need to start thinking about what we're doing. Imagine this. If none of us in the working class paid attention to March Madness. Because see, I know I'm not going to get you to not watch the Super Bowl, and I know I'm not going to get you to not participate in Valentine's Day. But what happens if you didn't watch March Madness? What happens if you don't pay attention to the NBA Finals? What happens if you don't pay attention to the World Series, the Major League Baseball season, the NBA draft, the new football season? Because at that point, if they start noticing that we are not paying attention to those things and our TVs are cutting off, and I'm speaking directly to my people, if we download Mansa, that is the equivalent of Tubi with just a touch of an upgrade that's totally black on MANSA. If you download that instead of just watching Tubi that's owned by Fox, if you're a working class individual, nobody thinks Fox is their friend. Owned by Fox, but Tubi Mansa, MANSA, is owned by black people. How many of us are going to download that after hearing it? And then how about Actively Black? And how about this? There's a variation of Facebook called Fan Base. You can act a fool and you can shake your booty and do all that foolish stuff you do on Facebook on fan base and get paid because people in my community love to brag. Hey man, if it wasn't for us, TikTok wouldn't be popping. If it wasn't for us, Facebook wouldn't be popping. If it wasn't for us, Instagram wouldn't be popping. If it wasn't for us, Twitter wouldn't be popping. So go to fan base and make it pop. Twitter, the aforementioned Twitter. It's an app called Spill. That's a black man who helped design Twitter. He created Spill. What if we all rush the fan base and Spill, overwhelming them to the point that they're gonna have to upgrade, getting more people employed. You get more people employed, it expands the platform. Then the Coke, the Pepsis, the Hennessy's, the beer companies, the snack companies, the technology companies, all those go to fan base. That all those go to Spill. And guess what? We're doing our thing on our platform and nobody's worried about it. See, that's the beauty in understanding that you're financing your oppression. If you no longer want to finance your oppression, then don't. Live in your greatness. Stop financing your oppression and live in your greatness. You can live in your greatness. We love to call each other king and queen and speak about our greatness, but we don't want to live up to that greatness because we want to be Americans. We want to be Americans. See, if you continue to live in a joke, call your dream, your fantasy, then you're comfortable where you are. If you want to live in that portion of the world in which you say, hey, we will never get this done, then guess what? Imagine if the people who were on those death camps that y'all identify as a plantation, what if they thought that? Because it was people that thought that as well as people that this will never, it's always going to be like this. And there was a bunch of people saying, I'm running at night. Let's go. Let's get it popping. And there's some people that just died there. They said, I'm going to die today. I can't do this anymore. See, we don't have to die. We can live. I love you to death. Should never be a situation. I love you to life. I love you to freedom. I love you to the removal of tyranny and the boot from your neck. And that's how I love you. So if you want to return to that type of greatness, stop financing your oppression. Because if you stop financing your oppression, your oppressor will begin to turn in your direction. You start to turn in my direction. Again, if we ever become even, I'm leaving. You don't have to succumb to oppression. What you have to do is do what you need to do to make sure your great-grandchildren's grandchildren survive this foolishness, this madness, and this chaos that is before them. You don't have to sit in that seat. You don't have to continue to do things. Just like you bum rush. We're going to bum rush Detroit. We're going to bum rush Minnesota. We're going to bum rush LA for the Bears. How about bum rushing Mississippi, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, Florida, in those cities, those places, Delaware, for HBCU week, for the big HBCU party that's at the Superdome every year. 2 HBCU universities and add a bowl game, the Heritage Bowl. How about we do that? That way, we're financing ourselves and we're leaving our oppressors up to their own devices. The only way we're going to do that is to break the chains. If you want to stop this, you must break the chains. And how do you break the chains? You break the chains by investing in you, by learning about you, by prioritizing yourself. That's how you break the chains. We step away from March Madness. How about this? I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. How about this? One United, the largest independently owned black bank in these United States of America. One United. One bank, O-N-E, United. U-N-I-T-E-D. United. That's where we want to be. One United. I'm not telling you, take all your money, leave boss. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is this. If you make more than $40,000 a year, take $140,000, $140, move it over to One United. Every paycheck, move it over there. Use the One United debit card. One United. Just move it over there. Keep all your money over there, but we're going to move it over there. At the end of the year, if 400,000 of us did that, that's $2 billion in that One United Bank. They can start their own credit service. Forget TRW. Forget Equifax. Forget them. They could create their own credit situation. With $2 billion, you can get a loan from them. You can get an auto finance from them. And then you can move over there. And now they got money. It's been a cyclical situation. You got 2 million at 400,000. Just imagine if 10 million of us moved over there. We have the ability to do everything we need to do and stop leaning on our oppressor and asking our boss to educate us. There's no way in the entire hell that people who have oppressed us for 400 years will wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? We're sick of winning and having our boot in their neck. Man, come on, man. Get them a break. No, that will not happen. But there's enough of us to create our own breaks. There's enough of us to go to HBCUs and support those. There's enough of us to donate. Guess what? It's 50 million of us in this country. What happens if we all get together and reinstitute something like the United Negro College Fund, like Lou Rawls used to do, and create a fund, create a fearless fund for the financing and an improvement of the HBCUs. And we go to the worst structural HBCU that's independently owned, not state funded, and we put the investment of us into it. Do you know what $50 million will do to a rundown HBCU? Will rehab all the buildings, because the land in the South and the places that they traditionally are is a little cheaper. The labor is cheaper. We could create a business to rehab in our community, to rehab the HBCUs. Then we rehab, and we have to tell the people at those HBCUs, you must use this contractor, which will employ our people and enhance our people who were wayward at one point, and then they'll be skilled labored and union certified people, and then they rehab those institutions. And then we send our children to those institutions that will enhance their mind, that will have cultural embrace, and then they will have cultural uplifting. And then we continue to invest in One United, and we get our car loans from there. And then we get our business loans from there. And then we get our grocery store loans from there. And when we move forward in that fashion, we remove ourselves from the oppressor's wicked hand. And what we do is invest in our churches, invest in our communities, invest in our businesses, and focus a large percentage, because a lot of us are afraid to go full bore, but a large percentage of our finances and back into our community. I say go up full bore, but it's difficult to get people to do that initially. But let's take baby steps, and we take those baby steps and put ourselves in a situation to whereas we can't be stopped, and we won't be. That way, you'll be academically sound, you'll be culturally sound, you'll be communally sound, you'll be spiritually sound, and with all those things, you make a fist, and you make those fists, and that is the uplifting that you see on the screen right in front of you. See, you believe stepping away from the mainstream will put you in a secondary place. Ask yourself this: our Jewish brothers and sisters, are they in secondary places? Mm-mm. Our Asian brothers and sisters, there's a Chinatown in every major city in the United States of America. Are they in a deficit? To the point where I've gone into Chinatown and purchased some things to eat for me and my significant other at time. And the things were in Asian. You had to know what you wanted, because they said, hey, if you can't read, maybe you don't need to be here. And there's nothing wrong with that. When I go up on Western and Devon and the Muslim community, the things that are written on the wall in the menu is in Arabic, because they're catering to themselves, and that community is flourishing. And we come in that community and shop. People like myself go in there and shop. So why can't we do it nationwide? We're the largest community in the United States of America. If 50% of us exclusive, if 14%, not even 15, not even the whole 15, if 14% of us shop with us, do you understand the power that that will wield? So we must break the chains. We have the ability to break the chains. And if we break the chains, you know what you can do? Do you know what you can do? Here's a fun fact for you. This is something I do on another podcast. It's HRap with the fun facts. And the fun fact is, the author of the very Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States of America, Thomas Jefferson, said the Constitution should be rewritten every 20 years. You could, if you focus And you're the largest group in America. And our good people who are walking line step with us, the good folks and all the other communities, well, they're in the minority too, but that's the true minority, good people in these United States of America. People who fight against the oppression of all. That is the true minority. But allow me to digress. If those people walk in lockstep with us, and we walk in lockstep with each other, guess what happens? We rewrite the Constitution, make it illegal to engage with discriminatory practice, and we no longer need this. But up until and including that moment, we must do everything we can to break the chains of oppression, galvanize our community, build a wall around our community, and build a Trojan wall around our community. Understand there will be Trojan horses and attacks from now into perpetuity. That's what you need to understand. And until you understand that, you will either continue to lay down and with their boots on your neck, or at some point you will rise up and remove the chains of oppression from your wrist and start to live. The most important thing is this, in my opinion. Damn everybody, because they're not going to make it. I'm going to quote Jesus in the Bible. I didn't come here for everybody. I came here for my people. And I don't mean black people. I mean people who believe in righteousness. People who don't want to engage in discriminatory practices against anybody. To quote the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., oppression anywhere is oppression everywhere. I don't want anybody to be hurt. But up until I get my tribe in order, I can't help your tribe. My tribe will be me and my significant other and our children and their parents and my parents and grandparents and uncles, aunts, and elders. And then my community, my county, so forth and so on. Then we can help everybody. But we must get this in order to break the chains of oppression. Start financing our oppression. And then celebrate Black history in these United States of America. With that being said, leave a comment, like, share if you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, stand to the bench, THAENDOLDABENCH. That's how you get in contact with me. Thank you. I got some good things coming this year. Doing my interviews again. I'm stepping way up. Thank you for being a supporter. This is Brian HRap B. Williams, 2 fingers, 1 word, and I am about to hit these